Eyewitness News, the Chicago area's leading news, with John Drury, Marianne Childers, Tim Weigel, and Steve Deshler.
A picture-perfect ending to a series sweep. Star Michael Jordan's last-minute shot sets off a celebration. Good evening. The Bulls' dramatic win sends them to their conference finals. Let's go right to Tim Weigel for the exciting details. Tim?
John and Marianne, it's almost ludicrous. I mean, what more? You think you've seen it all? How many miracles can Michael make happen? How many times can he beat the Cleveland Cavaliers at the buzzer? How many superlatives must we summon up to describe the heroics of the most amazing athlete we've covered in about 22 years of sports reporting? The Bulls trailed almost the entire game in Richfield, but here is, watch Michael Jordan get the pass from Horace Grant eventually, and then Horace runs the floor on that bad ankle. He had 15 points tonight. Michael feeds him, and the Bulls lead 94-92, but the Cavaliers never quit. Terrell Brandon to Gerald Wilkins in the corner for three, and it's 96-94 Cleveland. But Michael, who had just 8 points at the half, finished with 31. B.J. Armstrong with the steal. Scotty passes to Michael with Brad Daugherty draped all over him. He scores anyway. Bulls lead at 101-99, but it's 101-101. Michael almost loses the ball, and just as time expires, he hits the basket. Oh, my goodness, 1-0. The Bulls win it incredibly, and I'm really speechless. The Bulls are now the only team unbeaten in playoff action. They've swept 3 straight from Atlanta. They have now won 4 in a row from Cleveland. Michael and his men now will have probably 4 days off to rest until they begin the conference finals against either Charlotte or New York. It'll be New York. And Mark Shanowski will be live from Richfield with all the happy details in a few minutes.
And Michael will go back to Metropolis.
Oh, brother. It's incredible.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. Well, continuing on with our news tonight, a sad end in the search for a Chicago College basketball player who was also a noted honor student. In this car, the body of Marshall Morgan is discovered, and tonight police are trying to unravel the murder mystery. The investigation is underway as authorities try to learn who killed the 20-year-old man. Police say the Illinois Institute of Technology student died from a gunshot wound to the chest. Channel 7's Paul Meinke is standing by live with the latest on the murder investigation. Paul?
Marianne, the medical examiner's office says it'll probably be tomorrow before they establish a positive identification of the victim, though police believe it to be 20-year-old Marshall Morgan, a young man who excelled in both the classroom and on the basketball court, first at Quigley South, later at Mount Carmel, and for the last 2 years at IIT. Marshall Morgan was a business major at IIT, an honor student, co-captain of the school's basketball team. His coach, Ed McQuillan, says Morgan was a natural leader.
As a sophomore, he was picked as a co-captain of the team, which shows what a classy kid he was, what a personable kid he was, and what good character he had.
This morning, the badly decomposed body of a young man believed to be Marshall Morgan was found in a locked car parked at 58th and Michigan, 20 blocks from the IIT campus. Residents say the car had been there since last Wednesday, but no one thought much of it at the time. Police believe the victim was robbed and then shot.
There appeared to be gunshot wounds to the midsection. The car was locked, and it had been ransacked.
Morgan was last seen a week ago Saturday on campus. When he failed to return home, his mother and other relatives put together flyers in the hope that someone might have spotted him. This afternoon, after talking to police, Morgan's mother left, choosing not to talk to reporters, in a car that had one of those flyers still in the window.
He's the kind of student that everybody wants to have in their campus. He was an honor student. He was co-captain of the basketball team. He was a sweet young man.
You just feel, why does that have to happen? Why should somebody out there do that to people? It's just not human, and Marshall was totally human.
When he was last seen, Morgan was driving his car to a car wash. Police here admit they have very few leads to work with. Live at Area 1 Police Headquarters, Paul Meinke, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. John?
Thank you, Paul. Cook County jail officials today refused to set free convicted wife-beater Christopher Wilson. Family and friends cheered Wilson, thinking he was about to be released this morning. But jail officials claimed that, based on a legal technicality, Wilson was exempt from earning time off for good behavior and had therefore had to remain in prison. Channel 7's Cheryl Burton is here with more. Cheryl?
Well, John and Marianne, according to officials, Christopher Wilson will remain behind bars for another 4 months. His attorney says this should have never have happened. In fact, his family's Arlington Heights home was installed with an electronic monitoring system Sunday evening. His family believes he was wrong for beating his wife, but he has served his time and now he wants to get on with his life. An electronic home monitoring system sets atop the fireplace as family members of Christopher Wilson gathered for a homecoming that never happened. Wilson has been incarcerated for almost 2 years. His family was anxiously awaiting his release. But in a surprise move tonight, the Department of Correction has decided to keep Christopher behind bars to serve the remainder of his 364-day sentence for contempt of court. It's a move that has outraged his family.
I was devastated. Christopher was promised by his attorney, said that this was all cut and dried. If he would plead guilty to contempt of court charges, that he would be a free man tonight.
Christopher served a 15-month prison sentence for beating his ex-wife, Dawn, a beating that required several plastic surgeries. But both Dawn and Christopher testified in court that they were violent in their marriage of less than 2 years. Appearing in court today, Christopher was apologetic and remorseful. But in an interview with Channel 7 earlier this month, Dawn says she will always remain in fear.
During the day, our life is like anybody else's. I don't let that get out of control because she has to be taken care of. And if I keep concentrating on it, you know, it will eat me up.
Her is the 4-year-old daughter of Christopher and Dawn. And according to family members, their daughter Christy was the reason he wrote the letters from behind bars and was found in contempt of court. And after a guilty plea, Christopher's attorney thought he would be released today.
I'm going over to 26th Street and ask one of the night bond judges to sign my writ. I will serve it on the sheriff in lockup tonight, and I expect to have him in court tomorrow.
And according to attorney Tolles, Christopher will be a free man tomorrow, or else he will ask for a trial. In the meantime, Christopher remains behind bars tonight at the Cook County Correctional Facility at 26th in California. John and Marianne.
Thank you, Cheryl. And there's new information tonight on the Tammy Zawicki investigation. She was the college student who disappeared last summer on her way to school and was later found murdered. Zawicki's body was found in this area, and police now are asking the public to check for some of her missing belongings. Among the missing items, a black camera bag with a Canon camera, a musical watch, and a pair of size 7 tennis shoes. State police officials are expected to release a letter related to the case on Wednesday. Marianne?
Hundreds of people turned out tonight for a Louis Farrakhan concert, proclaimed to be a new effort at repairing relations with Jewish leaders. The Nation of Islam leader celebrated his 60th birthday playing the violin with the New World Orchestra, comprised of Jewish, Christian, and Muslim artists. The pieces performed included works by Felix Mendelssohn and Handel's Messiah. But the effort may fail to convince Jewish leaders who believe that Louis Farrakhan remains anti-Semitic.
Well, if it's words which have caused the problem, it's words which can undo the problem. If language has caused damage, other language is what's necessary to attempt to undo that damage, but I've heard none of those kinds of words.
Farrakhan is the head of the Chicago-based Nation of Islam, whose membership is estimated at from 10 to 50,000.
Well, coming up on Eyewitness News, word that a prescription wrinkle cream may help prevent cancer.
Also, why Hammond police hope the FBI will help look into allegations of child abuse at this church. And later in sports, we'll go live to Cleveland for reaction to the Bulls' big last second win.
And there was an earthquake in California, Nevada tonight, but barely a ripple as some rain showers passed by here. Tomorrow's forecast in a few minutes.
In the glamorous world of business travel, after all the red eyes, late-night meetings, rental cars, long-distance calls, what's in it for you?
The miles.
Only one card lets you earn frequent flyer miles on every major U.S. airline. Not these, the Diners Club card. Only Diners Club.
the performance and reliability of a true Hewlett-Packard LaserJet. The new HP LaserJet 4L easily surpasses other low-priced laser printers for the breakthrough price of just $849. The new HP LaserJet 4L printer. Now's the time to make the leap. If it isn't a LaserJet, it's only a laser printer.
Chevy Geo, family of fine cars under $10,000. First line, Prism. Next line, family car. Next line, driver's side airbag. Problem. 1.6-liter engine. Really strong safety belt. Child-proof lock. There are no problems. Just look at the TV. Front bucket seat. Oh, we're out of time. Hurry, buy one.
The genius behind very fine apple quenchers.
Oh, I'm thirsty. Oh, got something right here. Yeah, this'll do. This fruit drink's good, but it needs something like apple juice. Yeah, I'll just climb the... Oh, nice catch. Oh, ow, stairs back there. Leave me alone. I'm making an apple quencher.
New apple quenchers from Very Fine. Great tasting fruit, thirst quenching apples. Nothing quenches like apple quenchers.
Whoa. A popular prescription acne cream that's also widely used to take away wrinkles. They do a lot more than make you look better. Two new studies released today say that Retin-A, the synthetic form of vitamin A, may be able to reverse precancerous conditions of the skin and the cervix. Cancer researchers meeting in Orlando this week say that Retin-A cream could be useful in treating moderate cases of precancerous dysplasia, the growth of abnormal cells in the cervix. In their study, sponsored by the National Cancer Institute, 43% of the women who used Retin-A cream vaginally had their cervixes return to normal, compared with 23% in the untreated group. In another study, meantime, researchers found that patients who used Retin-A on their skin were able to fade and in some cases even erase moles called dysplastic nevi. These are moles that sometimes grow into melanoma, a deadly form of skin cancer.
This is the one that has irregular color, irregular borders. It may be larger in size than your typical mole, larger than the size of a pencil eraser. It may be asymmetrical, irregular in shape and color.
But even the researchers acknowledge that their results so far are preliminary. More needs to be known about possible side effects of using Retin-A creams vaginally and the safety of heavy, long-term use on moles. For now, researchers caution about trying Retin-A treatments for either dysplasia or atypical moles. Dr. Pinsky shares the skepticism about the latter.
If I think it's suspicious, I would take that mole off and want to look at it underneath the microscope where I can tell 100% assuredly this is either benign, this is atypical, or this is malignant.
These studies, by the way, represent the latest efforts in a growing field called chemoprevention. Now, the goal here is to make a sort of preemptive strike, catching and correcting abnormal tissue before it even becomes a cancer.
Well, Marianne, authorities in Hammond, Indiana tonight say that they're investigating whether a Michigan minister sexually abused a 15-year-old boy during a retreat sponsored by the First Baptist Church of Hammond. It's the latest scandal to rock a ministry cloaked in mystery. Channel 7's Jim Rosenfield says and finds critics who say the church is failing to protect its youngest followers.
Each Sunday, First Baptist Church of Hammond, Indiana opens its doors to thousands. Many of them children bust in from Chicago and the suburbs for Sunday school. Youngsters we spoke with in West Suburban Addison who've made the long ride to Indiana say talk of God is almost always mixed with offers of free food and entertainment.
They would pass out flyers, like they would take us to carnivals, and one guy said he would take us to his house and we would watch WrestleMania and pizza and pop.
But this newspaper headline tells the story of how one church deacon crossed the line during Sunday school. 57-year-old A.V. Ballinger was convicted in March of molesting a 7-year-old girl in a Sunday school classroom. Her parents are suing the church, claiming First Baptist and its minister, Jack Hiles, failed to protect the children from harm.
I think the lowest form of humanity is somebody who would molest a child.
In a rare television interview Sunday, Hiles told me why he still allows Ballinger to remain active in the church, attending each Sunday while he awaits his sentencing next month.
I think that if somebody is found guilty and proven guilty, I'm for capital punishment for people like that.
What about your own deacon, Mr. Ballinger?
Our deacon didn't do it. He's innocent. We're convinced he's innocent.
I was told on a number of occasions to keep an eye on him because he had problems with little girls.
Mr. Ballinger?
Yes, sir.
Former 27-year First Baptist member Victor Nischik, who left the church in a bitter personal dispute with Hiles in 1988, says Hiles' defense of Ballinger is not unusual.
He will never take the side of the accuser. He will always take the side of the accused.
And in recent years, there have been several troubled graduates of the church-affiliated Hiles-Anderson Bible College. Church leaders from Michigan to Virginia charged with child sex crimes, including fundamentalist minister Jeffrey Jarrell, convicted in 1985 of molesting 9 girls at a Petersburg, Virginia church school. And from Michigan's Sharon Road Baptist Church near Ann Arbor, Associate Pastor Timothy Leonard, originally charged last fall with sexually assaulting a 3-, 4-, and 9-year-old girl. 2 of the girls have since been found too young to testify. The case of the 9-year-old girl is still pending. Now police in Hammond are working with Michigan authorities who are investigating an allegation that Leonard assaulted a 15-year-old Michigan boy during a retreat at the Hammond church. While the boy's mother is now said to be uncooperative and the FBI reluctant to get involved, Michigan prosecutors and Hammond police are still pursuing the probe.
It is scary to think that we've had so many instances surrounding one particular place. So we have to start looking in a place to see if there are more, if there is a network.
Jack Hiles told me he knows nothing about any sexual misconduct involving children from Michigan on a retreat at his church. We were unable to reach the minister, Timothy Leonard, or his attorney for comment. An FBI spokesman in Michigan said today, right now there is no evidence of federal laws being broken, but the agency could become involved at a later date pending the outcome of other state investigations. John, Marianne.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Coming up, Steve Deshler with details of a big earthquake in California and also the latest on our cooler forecast.
First, Chicago's Jim Belushi makes it big in Hollywood, but he tells us why he keeps coming back here.
Beautify your home with Glidden Interior Spread Silk Paint from Menards. This paint is durable and scrubbable, providing a low-sheen interior finish. Premixed colors are just $10.79 a gallon. Spruce up your porch, dock, or boat with Status Indoor-Outdoor Turf from Tribune. This 100% olefin turf is on sale for just $3.93 a square yard. At Menards, we take pride in helping you do it yourself.
Save big money at Menards.
America switching to Sears Optical for our $49 spare pair deal. Buy any complete pair of eyeglasses, any frames, and any lenses at regular price, and get a second pair of equal or lesser value for only $49. Save as much as $200 or more.
It's Sears. It's guaranteed. I can charge it.
A $200 pair of eyeglasses for only $49? Yes. Hurry to Sears Optical now.
No pressure, great prices, and the respect you deserve. That's Best Buy.
As the undisputed star of tonight's Wild Palms miniseries, Chicago native Jim Belushi has made the jump from funny guy to leading man. Channel 7's media critic Gary Deave says this is simply the latest step forward for an outstanding performer who has gained the respect of the West Coast movie kingpins.
Very quietly, over the past 10 years, Chicago's Jim Belushi has become a genuine Hollywood movie star. With 24 films under his belt, he has earned an industry reputation as both a box office draw and a very fine actor.
I've made a lot of money in this business, and so I don't really need to do it for the money. I rather do kind of things I enjoy. I'm very fortunate, Gary. I've been very fortunate in my career and in my life. Well, Mr. Breen, it looks like you just ran a red light and went the wrong way down a one-way street. You broke the law.
The long road up began more than 15 years ago when Belushi joined Chicago's Second City comedy troupe.
Because at Second City, you know, when I was an improvisational actor, you have to make up things on the spot. You have no time to prepare.
I'm just nuts! I will sell you this title for $1,000.
Well, I was fortunate to be on Saturday Night Live, which was a great television adventure. Then I went right into films, and I've been making films nonstop for a while.
His absolute naturalness has made Jim a very employable actor. And most of his movies not only do very well at the box office, they are among the best sellers year after year on home video.
I think we can get them down, do you think?
Now you're talking. I finally have adjusted to Los Angeles. But the way I've adjusted is by coming to Chicago probably about 5 months of the year. I'm in Chicago all the time. I have a couple businesses here. I've got a few restaurants. But I come mainly for, my son lives here, and I can still walk down the street here, you know.
And Jim Belushi can still reject those annual offers for his own TV comedy series. That's another fringe benefit when you're a genuine movie star. Gary Deeb, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And on tomorrow's 4 o'clock Eyewitness News, Gary Deeb will talk with another star of the Wild Palms miniseries, Angie Dickinson.
And coming up on Eyewitness News, Steve Deshler tells us about Mother Nature's plans to tamper with a thermometer.
And in sports, a nail-biting showdown as the Bulls advance on the road to a three-peat. We'll be live in Cleveland.
Lasers. Satellites. Cellular data networks. What exactly are we preparing for? UPS introduces Total Track, the only tracking system that can confirm delivery of your air and designated ground packages coast to coast in seconds.
Package was signed for at 9:26 this morning by Mr.
The arms race may be over, but the package race is just heating up.
It's America's #1 selling car, and for a limited time, it can be yours for just $249 a month. Just $249 a month for 24 months on Ford Taurus. You'll get V6 powered, air, automatic transmission, and more. Plus the security of a driver's side and available passenger side airbag. All for just $249 a month for 24 short months. You won't find a better family sedan anywhere or a better value. Just $249 a month for 24 months on a Ford Taurus, but only for a limited time. See your local Ford dealer today.
Why don't you hit the road this summer? Go someplace you will enjoy. There's so much that you shouldn't miss. Right here in Illinois.
History in New Salem. Tee off at Eagle Creek. Take a ride along our rivers. Roar down a Shawnee
See the things you've never seen before in each county of this state. See the land of Lincoln come to life and what makes this great state great. Illinois has what you want, and it's only a ride away. Illinois,
it's so near.
This weekend you could be here.
This weekend you could be here.
For a free Illinois vacation kit, call 1-800-727-0679. Illinois, don't miss it.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Kemper Mutual Funds. We're building tomorrow's today.
Well, just a little bit brisk out there today.
Yeah, it's going to feel more like a little bit like sort of kind of like April. More like
Sort of kind of
like May and June, like it ought to kind of feel like this time of the year. The big news tonight is out to the west of us, both in the plains and in the far western states. There was a Death Valley quake tonight, 6.0 on the Richter scale, 4:20 p.m. Pacific time. Nobody hurt there. It's about 150 miles to the west of Las Vegas, the epicenter. This is what we call technically the middle of nowhere. Nobody hurt, not much damage out there, but it was a big roller. Nothing big shaken here at 7 o'clock in the morning. Temperature about 51 degrees, a few clouds around. Rain showers pretty much just fizzled out around here, but huge boomers down toward the southwest of us over portions of Kansas and Oklahoma. Some of the tops on these clouds as high as around 60,000 feet. You'll see these pop up in the last couple of frames down to the southwest of here in Kansas and Oklahoma. They just rear up in the last few frames, big blooming thunderstorm clouds really towering down there. And they've dropped some sizable hailstones and caused some heavy downpours. Around here, temperatures about the 50 mark. There are some 60s back toward the west of us. Around the area, mainly 50s right now. At the lakefront, 53, 54, Midway 52 O'Hare. The winds are east, the barometer now steady. Humidity 50%. Today's high 63, low so far 42 degrees. The records this state 94, 36. Sunset 8:06 tonight and rise tomorrow at 5:28. National scene, the big feature here. Clouds overspread the area today earlier. Big blooming storms down to our southwest, which are not going to come here. A pretty good day for most of the eastern seaboard states. Most of the far west pretty good. Scattered storms across the Rockies. More encroaching clouds late today in parts of California, Washington, and Oregon. The radar map shows those big rains to the southwest of us. Fizzling rains around here. The forecast map for tomorrow shows those rains pushing off toward the east. There will be clearing skies and some sunshine. Cooler temperatures with tomorrow's forecast highs 60s at best. Forecast for us tonight does call for occasional light rain, still possible. Low temperature 48. Then tomorrow, rain ending early, then some sunshine, high temperature 62. Tomorrow night, partly sunny skies, still cool, high temperature 60. That's Wednesday. Then for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday 58, Friday 65, Saturday 66. All of those below the average for this time of the year, which is usually around 70.
Seems warmer than today, though, so we can take it. Thank you, Steve. Coming up on Eyewitness News and Sports, the Sox battle it out in first place against California.
But before that, we have tonight's winning Illinois lottery numbers.
It was a fishing trip that began 35 years ago. Back then, he couldn't really imagine retiring. And yet, he began building long-term with Kemper Mutual Funds. Investing with Kemper is an opportunity to have something worth passing down to the next generation.
Let's give him a chance to grow.
Okay, Grandpa. We're building tomorrows today.
Kemper Mutual Funds. Ask your financial advisor or call this number.
Punk rock?
Classic rock.
Moon rock.
There's all kinds of rock, but in Chicago, there's only one all-classic rock. 105.9 WCKG.
It has a 10-cylinder, 400-horsepower engine and seats up to 7. It hits over 1 G on a skid pad and has an available built-in child seat. Its front fenders resist dents and chips. It has 133 sound deadeners, silencers, baffles, and mufflers. And there's room in back for 49 bags of groceries. Caravan, Viper, and Intrepid. The new Dodge.
Dead rock?
Classic rock.
Moon rock.
There's all kinds of rock, but in Chicago, there's only one all-classic rock. 105.9 WCKG.
This sports segment is brought to you by the employee owners of Avis. We try harder.
And I know we're going to see that shot again, aren't we, Tim? We got to see the shot again.
A lot of people would argue Michael Jordan, the greatest team sport athlete in history. And who would go against that, especially tonight? Remember 4 years ago he beat the Cavaliers with a shot at the buzzer? Michael the Magnificent at it again tonight. Let's go live to Richfield where Mark Shanowski is standing by. Mark?
Well, Tim, as you mentioned, something about playing in this building brings out the best in Michael Jordan. As you mentioned, 4 years ago in 1989, Michael made the famous shot from about the free throw line to knock the Cavaliers out of the playoffs. And tonight, from the same side of the court, almost exactly the same spot, Michael beat the Cavaliers again. This time, his last-second jumper sends the Bulls into the Eastern Conference Finals after a 4-game sweep of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh, Cleveland got off to a great start, then faded just before the half. Scottie Pippen with a miracle flip and a foul. Bulls cut a 9-point lead to 4 at the break. Cleveland bumped that margin to 10 before the Bulls made the decisive run. Pippen with another great athletic move, tying the game at 92. Gerald Wilkins gave the sellout crowd in Richfield one last thrill. This three-pointer putting the Cavs up 99-96. But fittingly, it was Michael Jordan driving the final nail in Cleveland's basketball coffin. Off the steal, Jordan gets the basket plus a terrible foul on Brad Doherty, his 6th. Bulls lead 101-99. It was tied at 101 with 18 seconds left. Bulls with the final possession. Everyone in the building knew the ball was going to Jordan, but the Cavaliers still couldn't stop him. MJ somehow hits this fall away over 2 defenders, and the Cavs are swept away in 4 straight. Final score 103-101.
I was certainly looking forward to the opportunity.
You know, once I saw that we had a chance to win the ball game on the last second shot, certainly I wanted to do it. Felt good when it left my hands, and it's just a very good feeling just to do that. I know the Cleveland fans certainly don't have any love for me at all, but God doesn't like ugly, you know, so they continue to boo me. Certainly, I think God's going to certainly give me the strength to try to succeed.
Michael Jordan in rare form after a 31-point performance, but it was the last shot that really mattered. He sends the dagger into the heart of the Cavalier fans again. The Bulls win. They'll probably play the Knicks in the next round. Live from Richfield, Ohio, Mark Shanowski, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Tim?
All right, Mark. Now, speaking of the Knicks, Pat Riley, the Knicks coach tonight, named NBA Coach of the Year. He got 32 first-place votes. To second place, Rudy Tomjanovich of the Houston Rockets, who had 31. Phil Jackson of the Bulls didn't receive a single vote. As for the White Sox, watch Bo Jackson. What artificial hip. Nice running catch in foul territory. And the Sox, with their 7th home run in the last 2 games, Robin Ventura with the dinger on top of Frank Thomas, the big hurt. Sox had a 3-1 lead, but oh, this black cat was a bad omen for the Comiskey Park faithful. Yeah, not everybody was watching the Bulls tonight. There were some fans on hand, and they weren't happy. Sox are losing it now, 11-4 in the 9th, and watch Ozzie Guillen tagging up from 3rd, but Tim Salmon guns him down. Sox are struggling. Wayne Gretzky with an assist to Pat Conacher in the 2nd period, and the LA Kings tie up Toronto 1-1 in their NHL series, but the Leafs scored 3 times in the 3rd. Glenn Anderson with the go-ahead goal. Toronto leads that series 1-0. And the most star-studded charity golf outing of the season at Medina Country Club today. Mike Ditka, Ryan Sandberg, and about 60 other celebrities helped generate and celebrate the 26th annual Jack Quinlan benefit for Chicago's boys and girls clubs, and some of the celebrities were even starstruck.
This has been around for, I think, what, 26 years, and it's got a great following, and you have some people, I'm even seeking autographs out here. That's how the celebrity field is, and it's an honor for me to be included in that.
Fortunately, no checks out on the green or the tees, at least none that I've seen.
Well, you haven't played with a couple of the guys I played with. You know, you get out there with Chris Chelios and guys, they, you know, you got to keep your head up there every once in a while.
Physical golf, huh?
Oh, always physical. Contact golf, we call it. It's pretty dangerous.
Well, not really. Just a lot of fun. And Brad Palmer is one of the celebrities. Never had a cigar out of his mouth the whole day.
That's his trademark. That's our news.
Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.